Hey everybody,
hey guys.
Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden, and we're here to help you become a better gardener. And today is part 2 of our kind of mini series here, I guess, of cutting back perennials.
Yep. If you missed part 1 where we cut back herbaceous perennials and just a couple other perennials, go ahead and click the link up in the corner there of the screen and you can check that out.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And today we've got herbs on the mind. So we've got a bunch of herbs behind us. We're going to show you what we are going to cut back today.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will be helpful for you too going into spring, right?
So guys, here we are in Allison's mom's backyard on our pallet table. We've got our herbs here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk. I'm just going to tell you each one of these really quick, and then we'll individually look at each one of these here and I'll tell you more about them. So just really quick, we've got common yarrow, we've got mint, 2 mint plants here that we're gonna show you how to cut back. We've got a coneflower, we've got lemon verbena, we've got lemon balm, we've got lemon balm, and then we've got our hot lips, one of our hot lips cuttings. So I'm gonna show you now individually how to cut back each one of these. Let's start with the yarrow. So guys, like you said, here's our common yarrow. Beautiful plant. You can see all last year's growth. We've got some old flowers here on these stems. We've just got stems in general, you know, over here, but you can see it's already starting to grow. Got all this nice green lush growth. It's super awesome. So to get this cleaned up so we can really focus on this green growth and not have to look at last year's growth, we're gonna cut it back. To cut this yarrow back, we've got our cutting tools here. We've got long straight snips, which are new to us, and these were given to us by Chris Savarese over at Corona Tools. Thanks, Chris. And then we've got Allison's favorite pair of bypass classic cut hand pruners, and then we've got my favorite classic cut bypass hand pruners. So to get into and start pruning back and making this common yarrow look good, we're gonna use our long straight snips here, and we're gonna take these and we're gonna get these open. These are really cool, nice, easy to use. It's really dense in here and I don't wanna snip something that I shouldn't snip, like this brand new growth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna take all of this old growth from last year back. And the reason we're gonna do that is because nothing that's growing this year is gonna grow off of last year's growth. So I'm going to, ooh, looks like there's that right there. So I'm gonna get in here, I'm gonna do that, take that. This plant is growing from its base, so we don't need a lot of last year's growth. So I'm gonna cut this off. We're gonna promote the new growth from these areas, and then everything that's dead, we're just gonna remove. So just following the stem down to a certain point, cut it. If you leave a little bit of the stem down there, that's okay, no big deal. Once this really starts growing and starts filling in, you're not gonna see any of these snips pieces. It's the old stems that you just cut. You're not gonna see any of that, so it's okay. So, gotta get that out of there. That was not good. All right, so just keep going through here. This is really good. Now this is really starting to take shape. Looking good. Now this is interesting. I'm gonna turn this around. So we've got this long stem here, and this has actually just started growing out. Look at that, it's already got some new growth on it, but it looks kind of goofy. It's gonna be kind of stringy. I'm gonna cut it back, because I don't think we want that there.
I don't like it.
So I'm gonna cut it back right to there. And now it's gone. Because if we just kept that and didn't shape the rest of the plant while we're doing this, just wouldn't look that good. So I'm gonna cut back some of these stringy little guys. See what I mean? You can really get in here with these long straight snips and remove some really tight cuttings in these tight cutting spaces. I'm just gonna keep going in here and getting these stems. You know, if you wanna go check these straight snips out for yourself, look down below and we'll have that link to these actual snips down in the description of this video.
Try to get in there and see what Sean's doing.
I know there's a lot going on here. You know, it looks like some of the growth from last year is actually having some new growth this year, but we're just coming in here and we're just trying to cut out all the dead pieces and that strange, straggly looking stuff, because we don't want to have that this coming year. So there we go.
Looks a lot better.
Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Okay, yeah, man, that's ready to rock. Look at that. Now this is cool. You can see down in here with all those needles, the fir needles, we get those out of there. you can kind of see there's a lot of new growth going on down here at the base of the plant. There's a growing point, there's a growing point, there's a growing point there. Definitely one right, well, this is all green, but yeah, right there. And yeah, there's just, man, this thing's gonna explode.
That's awesome. It's a beautiful bright yellow too. That's gonna be a lot of fun to see again.
So hopefully that was helpful.
So, all right, next we got the Hot Lips Salvia.
Yep, Hot Lips Sage. Now this was a cutting that we took, and look how big it got. In about 1.5 years, it grew really well. And you can see it's already breaking some of its buds right here, and we've got all of the new leaf growth going on here. It's coming out of its dormancy from this winter. Now you can see up top, there's a lot of brown, a lot of dead. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna cut the dead out. And when we're doing this, we're actually gonna start shaping the plant, because we just don't wanna willy-nilly start, clip here, clip down here, clip here. It's gonna make the plant look really goofy. We wanna give it a nice shape for the year. And so to do this, again, this is really tight quarters kind of snipping. I'm gonna use these straight edge snips and the long straight snips. And we're gonna get in here and do this. So let's see if I can do this real quick.
I'm not even sure where you wanna start.
I know, it's kind of crazy. So I think what we wanna do is we wanna start looking at this as how do we wanna shape this kind of? Do we want it more like down to about here, kind of even? More of even growth. I don't want to give it like a haircut, so we're not going to do that. We're going to make very precise cuts at growing points, so it looks more informal. It doesn't look so groomed, because that's no fun. So here, let's start going here. I think we're going to probably go to down about here. I think that'll be a good point. Maybe it looks kind of almost half, but it's not. But we'll go to about this point, I think, in general, to our cuts, and then we'll just see how that goes.
I like that. I mean, we want to promote it to be bushier, right?
Yep, and that's part of what we're gonna do here today. But what we're really gonna do is we're just gonna get all this dead out of this and get it ready and primed for this spring. Actually, it's kind of priming itself, right?
It's awesome.
So we wanna get on top of this and make sure we got this. So here we go. So I'm gonna come down here, if I can get in here. See what I mean by tight quarters? If I was using my bypass classic cuts, I would have probably just cut 3 or 4 different stems. And so that's no good. So when you're looking at something like this too, you can look on the inside and see how much is growing inside. A lot of times you want to clear a little bit of the inside so there's more airflow. It's not as goofy looking, it's not as dense. So I want to cut that down to there. That was a little bit further down than I wanted to go, but that's where the best growing point was on that stem, because a lot of that was dead. So this whole thing's dead here. I'm going to cut that out. So I'm just going to start cutting out the dead at certain points. I'm going to growing points here and cutting above those points. Yep, there we go. Just going to go through here, keep going. I'm cutting just to the points of attachment. I'm using what's called thinning cuts. If you're not familiar with those, it's cutting back to a stem's this is going to be a heading cut, but I'm using the heading and thinning cut routine to make my cuts. And a thinning cut is when you go back and cut to a point of attachment. A heading cut is like this right here, where I'm following the dead down and I'm coming to just above a bud here that's already broken. We have some really healthy leaves. I'm going to cut just above that, and this is what's known as a heading cut. I'm cutting midpoint on a stem. If I wanted to make this a thinning cut, I would follow all the way down to right about here, where the point of attachment is on this stem to the other branch and the main stem that it comes off of, and cut it there. That's a thinning cut, just to let you know. Okay. All right, guys, we cut out all the dead. Now look at this plant. It looks so much different. And down below here to your right, that's what we cut out. A little bit, that's the common yarrow, but but a lot of it's from this. That's a lot. That was a lot of dead. So now we need to shape this. It's kind of rangy. It's all kind of growing this way. It's probably the way it was oriented towards the sun. But we want to kind of give it a little bit more shape to it, not so rangy, right, honey?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to promote the growth in different ways outwards. And so what we're going to do is I think still about here is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to start doing that. We're going to start just cutting this back here. Let's go down. This is a good spot there. And let's see, we're going to get rid of this rangy stuff here. Okay. About there. So, let's cut that out. Now, this is interesting. This is all tangled up here. Okay, so let's go there. So that looks a little bit better, right? We got a little bit more shape. I took a lot more out, but we're going to direct all the growth pretty much this way and this way. And some of these we'll be able to come back and cut them a little bit more. It's going to need a little bit more pruning for that shaping to make sure that we don't get too dense a growth, because the good thing that you want is you want to have some good airflow in here. So I'll have to come back periodically, and maybe we'll show another video and update on this hot lips, and we'll show you how to keep pruning it and keep it shaped and healthy. So here's our Echinacea coneflower. Beautiful plant, grows from the base. All of this is dead. None of this is gonna, whatever we prune out here today is not gonna impact any flowers coming up this spring, this summer, and the growth this spring.
Which I hope not, because this is one of our favorite flowers.
So you can see right here, it's already starting to break bud. It's starting to come up. So we need to get rid of all of these different stems here. So I'm just gonna get in here and do it. So here we go. Using those long straight snips. Let's get in here. Make sure I'm not cutting any of those new buds.
I know, don't you dare, I'll come after you.
Yeah, that's right. You know where I live.
That's right. Well, that went fast.
All right, guys, all that growth from last year's done. Look at all that. We've opened this up.
I know.
This thing's going to explode. This plant's going to just grow like crazy.
I can't wait. We never got a chance to plant it in the ground, which good thing, because we would have had to have transplanted it anyway. So
okay.
someday.
So next up, let's do the lemon verbena.
This is a twofer here.
And then let's do this lemon balm. Actually, let's do the lemon balm first.
Yeah, this is one of our lemon planters from last year. Oh, it's so good.
So lemon balm grows from the crown here. All of this up above, this is all dead. None of this is actually alive. And the way to actually figure that out is to take your thumb and your thumbnail and just get in here and that just popped off, so I know this is dead, but scrape with your thumb down past into the bark. And if you see brown or black, anything that's not green, it's dead. So we're not seeing any green there. This whole stem is dead. And I can pretty much tell you the rest of this upper growth from last year is all dead. So I'm just gonna go in and just prune it all out at the base. Be careful, and I'm gonna be careful not to cut any of this new growth down below here. So, okay, so just follow this dead stem down to the next growing point on here, and it's actually got a little growing point right here. Just gonna cut it. Just keep on doing that. Oops, so look at that. I made my cut here. I didn't realize that this little stem off here with this new growth was coming off above that, so I just removed some of that. I didn't want to do that, but that did happen. So just, got to watch out. So again, just get in here, make sure, cut that there. And, if you're not sure if where you're cutting it, if it's connected to any of the new growth, cut above it. I should have done that in that one. I should have left a little bit of a stem, but I didn't. So this guy, so, okay.
Awesome.
So that's the lemon balm. Let's get into the verbena here. It's this lemon verbena. This is a beautiful plant. Look how tall it got.
I know, it got really tall.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of got stretched out, but it was actually really full.
Mm-hmm. I think this was on our deck last year. Yeah, so again, let's do the thumb test just to make sure. We're gonna use our thumbnail, and let's go here. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm just gonna check and see, is there any green? Any green there?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit. Oh yeah, there it is. See right there? I don't know if you can see that. Yep, right there. Okay. So guys, we were just looking at that one piece. It looked like it was alive up above, but we actually checked it down below on the stem further down, and it was dead. So it's like, so we cut it all the way out. But what we did is we got up here and we did the thumb test right up here, right up there. And you can see that's green. That's green. So this piece is alive. So it comes down here. We know this is alive right here, but let's try this over here and see if this piece, yep, I just did the thumb scrape. That's alive. So both of these stems are alive. So let's cut this maybe about halfway, and then we'll start keeping this way right here. This is a great plant. We didn't grow it. I think we grew it last year, but that was it. We've never grown it besides that. And so it's a fun plant for us to, oh yeah, yep, that one's alive. So I'm gonna we're gonna kind of keep it at this level. So guys, I'm just going through and just systematically checking different things to see with my thumb, do the thumb scrape test, see if things are alive or not.
And real quick, this is Louie.
Oh, hey Lou.
Hi Louie.
Hey Louie.
Oh.
Hey buddy, you here to help? All right, yep, got our garden helpers. All
sure
right.
Abby's out here somewhere.
Looking at stuff. Oh yeah, that's alive. It's gonna
nice.
I know, it's gonna be fun to see this this plant grow this year and see how it grows and see how it does in its new location. So, but I hope that was helpful with lemon verbena, and definitely let us know down below if you got any questions, what we did.
Nice.
So, okay, so that's lemon balm and lemon verbena. Let's move that over. Okay, so last but not least is mint. And you can see down here, we've got 2 mint plants in pots here. It's kind of spread throughout the pot, right? Like mint does. That's why you want to keep it in containers, because it spreads so easily. These two pots represent 2 cuttings that we took a couple of years ago during the high point of the pandemic. And so they're doing good. They're looking nice and healthy. They're regrowing for the spring. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to come in and kind of get all this rangy stuff out of here, because we don't want to look at that. So we're going to promote all this new growth. So we're just going to cut these as close to the ground as we can using these long straight snips, and be careful not to cut out any of the nice new growth. All right guys, just going to continue to cut these down here. Might just cut a couple guys there. Just continue to cut, get all the rangy stuff out of here. We want to see that nice new growth come on over here. All right. Looking good, guys.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, look at that pile.
Yeah, guys, if you have any comments or questions about what you saw us do here today, go ahead and leave them down below. We love hearing from you. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you get updates on our latest videos.
And that's a wrap. So thank you for watching and for being here today, you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yep. See you later.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.